Hello, good morning. It's Michelle here, and today is day 6 of the Content Mojo challenge for December, the Christmas challenge, the really exciting one because, well, it's Christmas time. Everybody seems happier at Christmas. Well, sort of. They kind of feel stressed and, busy and a bit manic, but there's also this underlying, well, for me anyway, of, feeling quite happy and excited about Christmas. So I enjoy Christmas time. I enjoy the spirit of Christmas. So it's really cool, and the giving and all of that. And I love, it's a time when it actually puts us away from our everyday things that we have to do, and we have to think about other people even more than perhaps we do in our normal lives. So I actually enjoy, gift shopping and things like that, and making things for the family and that kind of thing. Anyway, enough about me. How are you going? Are you getting through your writing? This is day 6. So it's actually the second last day. Unless you're in America when you've got a little bit longer, because I don't know, what are we? Something like 11 to 15 hours ahead. So, in fact, it's probably more than that. I think in America, probably about that. I think it's still evening, early evening in America. In fact, I can even have a look. I'm sitting on my big computer at the moment, and I can click a little button and run down and see that in Pacific time in America, it's actually only 1 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday, so Wednesday. And in Chicago, it is, or Central Time, it's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And New York is, hello Sandra, nice to see you here. In New York, it's 4 p.m. So, it's still yesterday. You've still got plenty of time. Oh, it's 3. So you're in Chicago Central Time, that area. Excellent. So you actually have a little bit more time than those of us who are in Australia and this side of the world. So you're lucky. So what I do want to know, though, is how is it going? How's the writing going? Is there anything that's, you're stuck on? Is there anything that I can help in order to get you further along this writing process? Because I know, when it comes down to the last few days, often that's when we get a lot of our work done. I don't know if you're like me, but we tend to, we do everything at the last minute, which no matter how many times we say we're not going to do that, that still seems to happen. So I am, as you all know, I think I've got pretty much all my words down. Now I'm just sort of massaging it, and I'm back. Is anyone still here? Oh, it wasn't you, Sandra. It was actually me. There's something wrong with my internet. I did have it on mobile data, and that went off, and then I put it over. Yes, here I am. And then I put it on the home internet, which has been a bit funny, and it took a little while to connect. So I'm on the home one now, and that has been dropping off. So hopefully I'll be able to stay long enough to finish the call today. And it's also raining now, so I don't know whether that affects the connection sometimes too. So anyway, it's just one of those things that we all have to put up with. We would prefer to have internet that worked all of the time, but that just doesn't happen. At least sometimes anyway. You certainly miss it when it's not working for you. It's crazy. Anyway, I was talking about finding time to get your blog finished, because that's important. Don't stress yourself out too much about whether it's 1,500 words. The important thing is that it actually works for people. Yes, I was asking. So how could I help you, Sandra? Please do shoot ahead. If you've got a question, or if there's something that I could do that would help, then do let me know. I'm all ears and eyes reading. So you write it up, and what I was trying to say is that if you're having problems, because it's too long, or there's just too much crazy stuff going on in your life because it is a crazy time of year, then just get as much done as you can. Make it a finished product, even if it's shorter than the 1,500 words. Okay, that's fine, Sandra. We'll be here in January as well, so you want to do it. Also, all we're doing is writing a blog post, and then we're creating content. Absolutely, I'm sure you can. In fact, I'd really like people to get into the habit, like myself, and there's a handful of other people who've actually done all of them. Because if you just keep doing it once a month, and we become like your accountability partners together as a group, it actually makes us, we all move forward together because we're actually all making content for our individual businesses and helping each other out. We can end up sharing each other's content. We can do all kinds of things with it, with our networks, and it actually also works well to get well like that as a group. It works really well, but it also just makes you do something because we're creatures of habit. We get stuck into the things that we actually do. Well, if you started today, Sandra, you could write something. It doesn't mean if you don't finish the blog post for you, it would be Saturday American time. That would be fine. It doesn't have to be 1,500 words. The only thing, there's training. I don't know if you've logged into Mission Mojo. There's training in the resource centre. So you just go to mission-mojo.com. You go to the challenge menu, and then there's a resource drop down, and then you just put in the password, which is Mojo, all lowercase, and you'll be on the resource page. And in there's a whole bunch of training about how to choose, the right topic and that kind of thing, so that the thing that you do right is actually very. Oh, you've been there, good. So the thing that you do right is actually something that people want in your audience, and that's kind of important, that we do write things that people are actually, looking for. So if it's not 1,500 words, which you might, depending on the kind of writer you are, you might be able to do that really quickly, or you might not. As I was saying before, if even a smaller piece of writing is going to be better than doing nothing. And then next week, so from Saturday, I guess what I'm trying to say is even if you don't finish the blog post by then, that's fine. If it's not super long, that's okay as well. The idea is that you get into the habit of creating at least one piece of content each month. And then in the second week, when we create all of the images and things like that, we call it marketing assets. And we'll be able to then use those in order to promote the blog post that you've done or the article that you've done and put on your website. And to me, that's the most exciting bit because I'm a bit creative and I really like playing with the images and having a bit of fun with it. And so, that's what we'll do next week. So, you can actually start really at any time. If you wanted to wait and start on the weekend, you just need to have an article or a blog post that you can create all these images and things around. So, except of course, creating a new piece of content is preferable because that's what will grow your foundation and the base of your. So you think once you finish the challenge, finish anything I started. Yes, you will, and it does. There's a great sense of satisfaction. You're right. So once we finish it, we do actually feel great, and to be able to set yourself up and do it once a month. Imagine being able to do that once a month and having that sense of satisfaction that you've actually been able to achieve this and doing it together. And that's why I pop on every day so that I can help everyone and so that it doesn't feel like you're doing it alone, because so much stuff we do online, we seem to be by ourselves, and that's no fun. And it's very easy for us to be easy on ourselves as well. We don't necessarily push ourselves to that next little thing in order to make whatever we're doing better. So when you come and work with us, then you have a whole group behind you who want to help and ask questions. So have you got any ideas already about what you want to write about, or have you already got a little bit done? Oh, you're motivated! Yay! So do you have sort of an idea what you would like to write about already? I think there's a fantastic delay here, which is what I found every time on live, Facebook Live, when I'm having a conversation with someone. When I say something, it takes a little while for you to get it. Oh, that's where you get stuck. There's a few ways to get unstuck in the resource centre to try and decide. And ultimately, you just have to pick something. That's right. You just got to pick something and go for it, because there's some saying, I'm sure there's like some kind of Confucius saying about it as well, but I don't know exactly how it goes. But if you just stay still and don't choose a direction, you'll never know if any of those directions are right. So once you start moving in a particular direction, i.e. choose one thing, you'll know if it's right or not, and if you do need to pivot and change, or if it's going to be okay. So, but just not choosing, you can never decide whether it's right or wrong because you never make the choice in the first place. So, yeah. Yeah, it probably is something like that, about 1,000 drops of water, that's right. So, just choose something. Ultimately, it doesn't matter as long as you have considered some of the things that we talk about with, that people looking for it, have other people written stuff about it already. That's always a pretty good indicator, especially if they're big in your market. And if you want to write about it, that's actually probably not something I mentioned enough, but if you want to write about that, it's much easier for you to write something that you're a bit passionate about, that, or a particular angle that you got to be in your bonnet about. It's much easier. That's what I think the first one I wrote was in the challenges was don't call me a mumpreneur, because it's just not a term that I've ever really liked much. And it was interesting because I could sit down and actually examine, why don't I like that? and so that was fascinating for me. So actually writing it wasn't such a super effort because, I already had a bee in my bonnet about it, and it was really then me examining why I didn't like it. So anyway, that's just one example. There are loads of them that you can do. So just choose one. If you get a little bit stuck, feel free to come into the group and put up, 2 or 3. You could even put it in a poll, I think, if you know how to do that, and we could all go in and just vote, which one we think is a better one, or you could just go in and say, here's 2 or 3 ideas, which one do you think is the best, and then we can just help you choose that way. Yeah. Otherwise, if you are not a super fast writer, then, just write 500 words or whatever. Anything's going to be better than nothing, okay? All right, so good, we've got Sandro moving. Yay! So the other thing for everyone, you need to think a little bit about your title. I don't think we spoke much about that in my previous calls in the last few days, which we normally would. But yeah, have a little think about your title. There are websites you can go to. I don't know if I actually have them. I was just looking at the resource centre. I usually have some links to some headline, some title places where you can go. So I'll put them up for you. I just have to remember what they're called. So there's a headline analyzer. So you can put the headline you're thinking of in, and it gives you like a score that says if it's a great headline or not, based on a few factors, and then it tells you why. So you can then fiddle with it and change it. And then there's also, I think it's a headline generator. So you can put in, maybe you're doing 6 tips on something, so you could put 6. You could put the topic. You can put, the benefit that it gives to people, and a couple of you answer a few questions based on the kind of article you've written, and it pops up and gives you some options for your headline as well. So I'll put those links up because actually I'm not really happy with my title yet, so I need to go and do that today for my own. Hello, Bernadine. So start polishing off your blog post. If you haven't started, like Sandra, that's fine. Write 500 words between now and Saturday. And that's fine. Yeah, do that. Think about how you want to lay it out. Think about an image you want as your feature image. And as I just said, go over and use those websites to come up with an awesome headline. Oh, sorry, that's my dog. Come up with an awesome headline so that you can... that attracts people's attention, that kind of stuff. And I think there's a cheat sheet on the Resource Centre, which is creating a killer headline. So you can use that too. All right. So has anyone got any more questions for now? I feel like I've had an exciting time today, thanks to Sandra, because I've managed to to help her. Oh, but it actually is easy. It is actually, or is it the other way around? Is it simple? It's easy. Oh, I always get those two mixed up. So it's actually can be as complex as we make it, to be honest. Like if you make it complex, then it can become this great big mammoth thing. But if you chunk it down into tiny little things, like find something you want to write about, sit down when you've got a spare 20 minutes, do a Pomodoro, 25 minutes, timer, time yourself, just write about it for 25 minutes. Don't even necessarily structure it straight away. Just write for 25 minutes and see what you come up with. It might be something that you can structure later, or maybe you prefer to write down a couple of notes and then sit down for your 25 minutes. But just find that little bit of time, write something, and then you've got something to play with. Yes, it is just like eating an elephant one bite at a time. And it's certainly not impossible. There's lots and lots of people out there doing it, including all of us and including you. You won't have any super trouble about it. The hardest thing is to quiet your mind and actually just focus on one thing. And that's because the world that we're in at the moment, most of us have so much chaos going on around us. And this time of year, it's probably amplified by everything that's going on around you. So it's just finding 25 minutes to sit down, close the door. If you need some nice music on in the background or something like that, and just focus for 25 minutes. It's amazing what you can do in 25 minutes, actually. There's been a lot of studies done that if you do that and apply yourself for 25 minutes to one thing, and you do that, say, 2 or 3 times in a day, you'll achieve more than you normally do in a month in just a couple of days. So certainly give it a go, and it will feel easy once you actually sit down. First, actually, it feels quite alien because we're so busy and we're almost just busy being busy, because there's so many other things trying to get your attention, whether it's your internet or social media or the radio or the kids or your husband, or you've got to cook a meal or you've got to fold clothes, or now I'm sounding like the mum that I am. There's so many other things that are gnawing away at you all the time. If you can actually practice just blocking them all off and just taking 25 minutes to sit down peacefully and just focus on the one thing, and promise yourself that you won't think about anything else, you're just going to think about that, you will actually be able to get your 500 words out, I think, inside at least, like 25 minutes. I think you'd be surprised what you can do in 25 minutes, especially if you're focusing. And this is like I'm talking to myself. This is I'm trying to teach myself to do this more as well. We all struggle with that. Yeah. All right. Has that helped? I hope it has. Thumbs up if it's helped you. It seems like you're feeling a little bit better about it. Certainly don't think you can't do it, and just do one little bit at a time. Don't be overwhelmed at all. That one bite of an elephant at a time, as you said. All right. Yay. Okay. Any other questions? Everybody's good to go. I'm going to head off to a meeting in about 5 minutes. Yes, you're among friends. Absolutely, Sandra. That's what we're here for, to help you out. All right. I will go because I have to get ready for a meeting I've got to head off to in 10 minutes. Like a real client. Fancy that. That's a pleasure. I'll see you tomorrow. So I'll be here tomorrow at this time. All right. Yes, and it'd be good if you were here too, Sandra, because you can report in on what you got done. That would be awesome. All right. See you. Bye. Thanks for being here.